amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you so much and remain blessed.
We've seen to do that with us, we're joined by Dr. Okwesili Ezenwodo, former governor of Enugu State, former national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, and coordinator of the Greater Nigeria Conference. He joins us live from our Abuja studio. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us on Sunrise Daily. I'd like you to maybe cap it all up on the conversation we had earlier on the economy. And I mean, the Southeast came up regarding, the enterprise of the Southeast, some of the industries coming up in the Southeast. And I'd like to hear from you, being a leader in the Southeast. If there's anything you say the government can do to boost, that potential that we've seen in the Southeast, what would it be for you?
Thank you very much for having me this morning. I think the most important thing that we can do in the Southeast is synergy. Most of our states do not have such robust economy like the major oil-producing states that have a lot of money at their disposal. So if we acted in unity and with synergy in the Southeast, the 5 states working together, we can create an economic zone. Now, where we have low-hanging fruits and comparative advantages in various states, we concentrate on those ones and bring the efforts of the 5 states to bear on the best way forward for those advantageous states that can produce comparatively. We have done well in promoting industry in Aba sector. If the private electricity company that has done so well comes on stream, it will help a lot because energy is critical. In the Newi zone, we have done well. Many enterprises are working there. Innocent and other factories producing vegetable oils and what have you. Now, I believe that most of these states can do better if there was synergy. Transportation is important in moving farm produce to areas where we can have agricultural industries that will add value to what we are producing. So these things are a bit too heavy for each of the states. Where we have done well, it has actually been as a result of the entrepreneurship of the independent Igbo man, which is I can succeed attitude. And they have done very well in championing enterprise in the area. There is a lot of small-scale industries, but these small-scale industries, as we have seen in the previous discussion, they need to be mobilized, they need to be properly coordinated. For example, we've heard that Innocent depends 70% on locally sourced components for their goods. Yes, for such big industries, we can channel more of the energies of the small and medium-scale enterprises to feed those big industries. And then they have sufficient raw materials, and the states can provide electricity, the states can provide roads, the states can provide water and other infrastructure necessary for these companies to grow. The Southeast is full of abandoned industries, and these abandoned industries are as a result of policy somersaults. People start an industry, and suddenly it's either the Naira is so badly devaluated, or they're not able to access foreign exchange to bring foreign components, or there is no water, there's no electricity, they can't run on generators, and so on and so forth.
Well,
so
Chief,
a lot of government is needed.
Yeah, well, there was something that you said that piques my interest, and I would like you to speak to it. You talked about synergy. What, in your opinion, could be standing in the way of that synergy that we need to take out of the way?
That is what we need is the governors of our zone to decide to act together. We have set up committees in the past, and there's a current one which is led by Professor Sitobu. They have produced beautiful blueprints that can take us to the point where we'll become the Dubai of West Africa. But we haven't got the political will of the leaders of the zone to implement that blueprint. In fact, the blueprint went to the extent of telling us how to generate the funds within the zone that can power whatever we want to do in the Southeast. It's a very comprehensive document. If we had the political will to put it afoot, I think in the next 5 years it will be a different story. That political will is not there. The professionals we have in our midst, with all other political actors, they have put together for us a working document, which most of us believe is doable. So political will is a problem.
And aside that conversation around political will, perhaps another snag that has been standing in the way of the Southeast from becoming, the Dubai of Nigeria, as you put it, is the security talk, or insecurity, I should just put it that way. And as a leader in the region, I mean, you've had series of meetings, consultations. You have at least a broader view than the average Nigerian. And I wonder, what do you make of the current security challenge being faced by the Southeast?
The biggest problem we have is unemployment. Massive unemployment, even of graduates, and there are no jobs for these people. The second thing is absence of sincere dialogue with the young people. The young people, apart from the fact that they have no jobs, they also feel extremely marginalized in a country of their own. The country does not give them any hope. And they accuse us, their leaders, of having failed them. So they want self-help. And we have to work very hard to convince them that self-help will not take them anywhere. It can only bring massive federal action to eliminate those who had resorted to self-help. Therefore, we need negotiation. And this is why we have repeatedly come to the federal government appealing that they negotiate with our youths. What are their problems? These problems are not insurmountable. I believe the country has the capacity to solve whatever problems that the youths are facing in the Southeast. And if you address those problems like they were successfully addressed by Yaradua in South-South, Niger Delta area, and the successful story also in engagement of Southwest. For example, after the annulment of the election, then the country decided to pick the next president from Southwest. Southwest was already ready with their national anthem, their name of their country, their flag, and everything, their constitution. But zoning the presidency doused the agitation, and we had peace. So I believe that if the federal government decides to dialogue with the young people in the Southeast, and the governments there and the entrepreneurs can create jobs for the youths, there'll be peace in the Southeast.
Well, Chief, one other angle to that, I mean, the whole young people or youth population conversation is another one altogether that we will come to. But, in that the conversation we had before, you came on board on the program this morning, you heard the governor of the state saying that all of the issues of insecurity in Imo State in particular are politically motivated. And you are talking about the need for dialogue. I'm wondering, what you make of what the governor said pari passu, what you have also talked about now, the need for this conversation, this dialogue. But your opinion is to dialogue with the young people. But what the governor said, that the insecurity is politically motivated, is that something troubling for you?
It's not troubling for me. I want to be honest with you. I don't agree with the governor. I don't agree with him because I'm a politician. If I am in Imo State and I want to undo the sitting government and I create mayhem and I'm succeeding, I will take credit for it. And then I will challenge the government to counter what I have used to convince the young people to go to violence. So I don't believe that it is politically motivated, because no politician is taking credit for whatever is happening in that place. Indeed, the whole thing goes to the root of the youth agitation. The youth agitation. And in Imo State, these youths feel that instead of federal government dialoguing with them, their government is in close cooperation with the federal government to stifle their agitation. So what is the reaction? They fight back. So
all right.
I think the governor should remove his mind from political causes.
Okay.
Yes, he has division in his party between himself and Okorocha. He has division between himself and PDP. He has division between himself and the youth agitators who feel that he's being used against them by the federal government. So this is where the crux of the matter is.
Okay. We'll talk more on that and the youth element that you raised just now when we return from this break. Please stay with us.
Confidence is important in life's little moments. Strong teeth can help, even if they get her into trouble sometimes. A great smile is useful to break the ice, and making friends is easier when you know you have fresh breath. I give my family confidence with Pepsodent Triple Protection 123. Its antibacterial action formula gives them cavity protection, white teeth, and fresh breath. The confidence of 3 toothpaste in 1. Pepsodent Triple Protection 123.
Don't just wake up your child. Wake up the champion in them. Give them energy to help them win every day with Milo at breakfast. Milo Active Go and the natural goodness of malt, milk, and cocoa helps wake up the champion in your child. Milo!
The entrepreneur who's a business leader looks for ideas and puts them into effect in fostering economic growth and development. Entrepreneurship is one of the most important inputs in the economic development of a country. The entrepreneur acts as a triggerhead to give spark to economic activities by his or her entrepreneurial decisions. The Platform Nigeria will hold its 31st edition on Monday, the 2nd of May 2022 at the Covenant Place, Igamo, next to the National Theatre. Theme: Building a Successful Business in Today's Climate. Live local, think global. The Platform Nigeria is powered by the Covenant Nation.
Thanks for staying with us. Well, Chief, before we segue into the youth conversation, just a quick one. I'm wondering, when you said that if someone is responsible for the insecurity in Imo State, that they would come out and take credit for it. I'm wondering how you think that is possible for a politician to come out and say, I'm the one fomenting trouble in Imo State.
Well, I'm talking as a politician. If I want to oppose a sitting government and take advantage and come to power, and then I point out the weaknesses of the government, and the people believe that what I'm saying is true, and they react against that government, it gives me an opportunity to win the next election. So why will I not take credit that I'm the one pointing at the weaknesses of the government that will make me to win the next election? And if the masses are reacting to the weaknesses I'm pointing out, it gives me a political advantage.
Well, Chief,
I believe that we...
Well, my apologies for butting in.
But what I'm saying is that we should engage the youths.
Okay. Well, talking about the youth.
Dialogue.
Yes. Now, talking about the youth, it's not just something peculiar to the Southeast, you would agree with me. It's a conversation that's in pockets of areas all over the nation about the youth. We know how it is happening in the Southeast. Some would remember how it has happened in the Southwest, and it is still happening one way or another. And there are those who reference young people being responsible for a lot of insecurity occurrences in the North, in the different parts of the North as well. So in terms of engaging the youth, how would you propose that we go about it? Because as you've said, I mean, you talked about, in the previous conversation, we talked about having economic zones all over the place. And it is expected that it is the same young people that will play the pivotal role if those economic zones are to thrive. So in terms of engaging the young people as you're proposing in the various regions all over the nation, what are your recommendations as to how to approach that?
If I were in government, you invite these young people, invite the leaders from their zone, and sit down and show government sincerity and commitment to solving the problem. Now, what is your gross with Nigeria? Why are you fighting your country? Why are you killing your own people? Why are you kidnapping your own people? Why are you raping your own people? I believe that government will get answers to these questions. And government and the leaders of these zones will make a commitment to solving these problems. Where unemployment, as we know, is likely to be one of the major issues, how can government convince the people of its vision to solving the economic problem? Most of these people may not be able to wait for big industries to be created, but they can be empowered to start small and medium-scale enterprises. And as we said, for cluster advantages, those small and medium enterprises feed the future big enterprises. So there is market for what they are producing, even within their zone and other zones that may need what they are producing. And they go ahead and make sure that these funds reach the target group. And if you are a young person who is unemployed, and every day you hang out with your colleagues to drink and take drugs and look for the next victim, but now you're producing something and there's a market for what you're producing, I'm sure your attitude would change.
Wow.
You want to be a responsible person. You want to have a wife and a family. You want to have a roof over their heads. You want to have local transportation for them. That is a better way to live your life.
And I think that...
So government must show this kind of commitment in any of these zones where we have youth restiveness.
This picture you have painted,
Now,
Chief.
if there are other things that the youth wish to have in order to leave crime and agitation, what is it that we can do? As I have always said, President Yaradua had a comprehensive answer in the Niger Delta. And today we export our crude oil, if not for the recent theft of the crude oil itself now. But the violence that prevented export of crude oil is no longer there.
If I could just follow up
The
quickly,
youth
Chief.
have been empowered.
On the point you made about having a dialogue, and it beats my mind, because I think that has been the crux of the matter. What shape, what form will that dialogue take? The same way they say, what's it called, restructuring, what does it mean? People say there are different definitions, so there's no consensus. So for this dialogue, what shape, what form will it take? And are you saying that this bicameral legislature we have, which is meant to be a way to carry the yearnings and the agitations of people at the sub-state districts and zones to the national forum, that's essentially the idea. So are you saying that is not working? Because if the representatives, if the senators cannot adequately represent the yearnings of their people, then what's the point? So the question for me is, what shape, what form will it take?
I tell you what Obasanjo did in his time. He sent for Asari Dokubo, he sent for the leaders of the different groups in the Niger Delta that were causing problems in oil installations. They brought them to Asorock. They assured them they were not going to be detained and imprisoned. They sat face to face with the president and they talked. These young people I'm telling you about, if they have an idea that they can sit with the president of the country or a high-powered committee set by the federal government, they will gladly come and tell the federal government what is their problem. If you want, you can ask the leaders from their zone to accompany them. If they have anything against those leaders, they will tell the federal government that the leaders are to be blamed here or there, and the leaders will correct whatever the youths have against them. So it's a holistic discussion between the leaders of the aggrieved groups, the leaders from their zone, and the federal government. The federal government cannot shy away from this.
Well, just a quick one. Please do this in 60 seconds, because there is a very important issue to take you on. Isn't that in a way an admittance on the part of the governors, in those regions and states, that they cannot, quote unquote, rein in their young?
Well, the governors, they say that the chief security officers of their zones, but that's not in practice. They're not. Take, for example, Governor Soludo, who has just come on board. Very enthusiastic to solve this problem. And then he has reached out to the IPOB. The IPOB and the religious and traditional rulers in Anambra State and the Southeast sat down and discussed with the IPOB. And they convinced them that the fastest way that Nnamdi Kanu can come out is a political solution. And they believed and are ready to walk along that line. Then another group, another faction, which is led by somebody not even from Anambra State in the IPOB, and then some foreign supporters of the IPOB say, no, They're not ready to dialogue with the state government. And state government says, well, if you are not ready to dialogue with us, we consider you as criminals and we'll face you. But you can see that they don't even have the capacity to face those ones. And they are still reigning mayhem.
Well, Chief.
The governor doesn't have police, he doesn't have army, he doesn't have anything.
Okay, we have to talk about the Southeast agenda now as we coast home, because this is a big one. We're a quarter to 2023, as I like to say. So it's important to at least keep tabs with the moves by the Southeast. So we've seen lots of candidates throw their hat in the ring, as we say, from the Southeast. But that's not the only area we've seen candidates come up. We've seen from the Southwest, South-South, Northeast, Northwest, essentially everywhere, even the North Central. And I know there's this push, and you have maybe touched on that, to have a Southeast president come 2023 for fairness, equity, and justice, and some other reasons. But what for you is the most, can I say, compelling argument for a Southeast president come 2023?
What I think is the most compelling argument is that this country, Nigeria, has a conscience. And that conscience comes on play from time to time. We have said it in the South-South with Niger Delta agitation for control of their resources. We have seen it post-June 12th in the big political parties choosing their candidates from Southwest. We have even seen the federal government intervention in the Northeast Commission. We have also seen foreign aid flowing into the Northeast, and so on and so forth. What we are saying is, why is it that when it comes to deal with the Southeast, with the conscience of the nation, that conscience takes a flight? In the PDP, there is a written constitution about rotation and zoning of the presidency and other political offices. We have just done it in the last convention, where we elected the members of our National Working Committee and National Executive. Why is it that now that we have come to the presidency, that constitution is jettisoned? Last time we went to choose our presidential candidate in Port Harcourt in 2019, we zoned the presidency to the north. Nobody from southern Nigeria contested in that convention. So why are we changing the goalposts in the middle of the game? Now that it's supposed to be zoned to southern Nigeria, and preferably to the Southeast that has not occupied that position before. In fact, since Nigeria was founded. So we believe that the only thing we can do is to appeal to the conscience of the nation. That a nation that is not built on justice, fairness, equity, cannot stand. It's on quicksand. So the nation has no moral conscience to deal with any issue whatsoever. Not because it is one part of the country today. It has jettisoned its moral conscience to deal with any issue in any part of the nation. Therefore, all we are saying is let justice reign. Even so in the party in government today, you are having a president for 8 years departing from the north. Why should you look for the north again for another 8 years? Does that dictate, a roadmap to justice, to peace, to equity, to unity? Why have people lost their moral conscience because of selfish interests to occupy the seat of president? You want to be president of a non-existent nation? We have to have a united nation.
And at this point, some of these decisions...
We said, though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Where is that brotherhood today?
So, Chief, on a final note, I'd like you to speak to this. So the decision around zoning, or do I say micro-zoning now for the Southeast, is still within the realms of the political parties. And, I mean, you can speak for your party, the PDP. Clearly, we're seeing candidates from literally everywhere, and they're telling you that allow everybody go for this, okay? The constitution of the country, they will say, does not say don't allow other people run. As far as you meet the criteria, you can go for it. Would you, I mean, maybe for you and other Southeast leaders, would you be raising any dust if eventually the PDP throws this open and says, let everyone throw their hat to the ring?
Well, we're party members. Whatever the party decides, we'll do. But we're saying to this party, if you don't send it to the Southeast, will you survive the consequences? This is a party that was formed on the bedrock of justice, fairness, and equity. That is what we believed when we came together in 1998. Why should we jettison it right now? What's the reason? If you remove the foundation on which the party was built, how do you want to build it for tomorrow? What do you want to hand over to posterity and to our children? That's why we're saying, leaving the thing open. Okay? If you say by doing that, you satisfy everybody. But the truth of the matter is, PDP zoned the presidency to southern Nigeria when we formed the party. For the arguments that in the First Republic we had Tafawa Balewa, in the Second Republic we had Shehu Shagari, in the Third Republic we had a southerner, it was aborted, Abiola. Now it is only fair that we go back to the south. And we won that argument. And that fairness prevailed, as we have said before.
Chief, looks like we're just scratching the surface.
We jointly, together, decided to put the South as president. And that's what we're saying in the conference we're having later this morning by Greater Nigerian Conference, that together we can. If the conscience of the country says today we are going to put somebody in the Southeast, people in the Southwest did not vote for President Obasanjo, but we put him there because the country says
we have to run now because of our time. But just yes or no, if you can quickly, when you said that if it is not zoned to the Southeast, can the country survive the consequences? Is that a threat?
No, it's not a threat. It's just opening the eyes of those who have decided not to see clearly right now. Because injustice to one part of the country is injustice to every part of the country.
And I think that's a great place to leave it. Dr. Okwesili Ezenwodo, former governor of Enugu State, former national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, and the coordinator of the Greater Nigeria Conference. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your patience to watch from the beginning to the end. I hope you have learned something from the video you have just watched. The video you have just watched is to bring information to your doorstep and for educational purpose. It is not to demonize anybody. Let us watch continuously and see who can be able to make a sense out of every nonsense we are seeing. We must continue. We move. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. They will kill us. We'll kill them. At the end of the day, Biafra is here. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you're notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you and remain blessed. Bye-bye. See you again.